Rice, the surprising danger when reheated. Rice is a staple food in millions of households across the globe. It's easy to make in large batches, budget-friendly, and can be added to nearly any dish, from stir-fries to stews. But what many people don't know is that rice can actually turn dangerous when reheated improperly. This isn't just about flavor or texture. This is a serious health risk. And what makes it even scarier is that you may not even realize it's happening. So what exactly is the issue with reheated rice? The danger lies in a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. This bacteria is commonly found in soil and can contaminate rice during harvesting. When rice is cooked, the heat typically kills the bacteria, but not their spores. If the cooked rice is left out at room temperature for too long, especially in a warm kitchen, these spores can multiply and release toxins. Reheating the rice later doesn't necessarily eliminate these toxins. In fact, they can survive the microwave or stovetop and still cause harm. The symptoms of Bacillus cereus food poisoning often include nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, and diarrhea. And while many people may chalk these symptoms up to a minor stomach bug, they can be much more dangerous in older adults or those with weakened immune systems. In severe cases, this kind of food poisoning can lead to dehydration or hospitalization. And the long-term stress it puts on your gut health can't be overlooked, especially as you age and your digestive resilience decreases. So how can you stay safe? First, cool rice quickly if you're not eating it right away, ideally within 1 hour. Divide it into smaller containers and store it in the refrigerator below 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius. Avoid letting cooked rice sit on the countertop or in the rice cooker for hours. Second, when reheating rice, make sure it's steaming hot all the way through, not just warm. Stir it while heating to ensure even temperature. And most importantly, never reheat rice more than once. Doctors have started warning about this more frequently because people often assume rice is as safe as bread or pasta when it comes to leftovers. But unlike those foods, rice carries a silent bacterial threat that can take a toll on your body, especially if you're over 60. So the next time you go to pop that leftover rice into the microwave, think twice. When it comes to your health, it's always better to be safe than sorry. Potatoes, why reheating can make them toxic. Potatoes are another favorite comfort food. Baked, mashed, roasted, or fried. They're rich in potassium, fiber, and vitamin C. But just like rice, reheated potatoes can quietly become a health hazard, especially if they're not stored or handled correctly. The most alarming part? You may not notice anything wrong until your body starts reacting to the toxins, and by then, it could be too late. So what's the problem with reheating potatoes? The primary issue with potatoes arises when they are cooked, left at room temperature, and then reheated hours or even a day later. Similar to rice, botulism is the major concern here. This is a rare but serious illness caused by Clostridium botulinum, a bacterium that produces a neurotoxin. When cooked potatoes are left out too long, especially when wrapped in foil and stored improperly, it creates the perfect anaerobic, oxygen-free environment for the bacteria to thrive. You might be thinking, but I've reheated potatoes my whole life. What's the big deal? The danger isn't in the reheating itself, but rather in how the potatoes were stored in the first place. Once the bacteria grows and produces its toxin, no amount of reheating can destroy the poison. That means even piping hot reheated potatoes can carry a neurotoxin that attacks your nervous system. Botulism symptoms include blurred vision, muscle weakness, difficulty swallowing, and fatigue. In older adults, this can be especially dangerous because symptoms may progress quickly, leading to respiratory failure or worse if not treated promptly. While rare, foodborne botulism is often linked to improper storage of cooked potatoes, especially in catering environments or homemade meals that are kept out for too long. So how can you enjoy potatoes without the risk? First, once you've cooked your potatoes, cool and refrigerate them within an hour. Never leave cooked potatoes sitting out overnight or for extended periods. Second, avoid wrapping hot baked potatoes in foil and leaving them to cool at room temperature. That's a prime condition for bacterial growth. If you're saving leftover mashed or roasted potatoes, store them in airtight containers in the refrigerator and consume them within 1 to 2 days. When reheating, make sure they reach a temperature of at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius, throughout. Stir mashed potatoes, flip roasted ones halfway through reheating, and avoid reheating more than once. If something smells off or looks questionable, toss it. Remember, the cost of throwing away old potatoes is nothing compared to the cost of risking your health, especially after 60 when your body's ability to fight toxins naturally starts to decline. Eggs, the protein trap that could turn toxic. Eggs have long been celebrated as a nutritional powerhouse, especially for seniors looking to maintain muscle mass and brain health. They're packed with protein, healthy fats, vitamins like B12, and minerals like selenium and choline. But here's the part most people never hear. Reheating eggs, especially boiled, scrambled, or fried, can turn this superfood into a serious health hazard, especially for older adults. The main concern isn't just about taste or texture, though reheated eggs do tend to become rubbery and unappetizing. The deeper issue lies in what happens to the protein structure and sulfur content of eggs when they are cooked, cooled, and then reheated. When you reheat cooked eggs, the tightly bound proteins begin to break down and release sulfur-containing compounds, which can not only give off a rotten smell, but can also make the eggs harder to digest. For seniors with already sluggish digestion or acid reflux, this can result in bloating, gas, or nausea. But there's another hidden danger. Just like chicken, eggs can harbor salmonella, especially if they weren't cooked thoroughly the first time. Reheating eggs unevenly, especially in the microwave, can create cold spots where bacteria continue to thrive. And because the outer parts may feel hot while the center remains lukewarm, you could unknowingly consume bacteria-laced food thinking it's safe. Hard-boiled eggs are particularly deceptive. While they seem safe, the yolk, when reheated, can undergo a chemical reaction that produces ferrous sulfide, giving it a greenish tint and a metallic taste. While this discoloration isn't dangerous in itself, it indicates a breakdown of nutrients and reduced digestibility. For older adults who need maximum nutrient absorption, this is counterproductive. Scrambled eggs and omelets are even riskier. They're often combined with milk, cheese, or vegetables, each with its own storage and reheating requirements. If any one of these ingredients was compromised or improperly stored, reheating the entire dish could create a perfect storm of bacteria and food toxins. To stay safe, follow this golden rule. Cook what you'll eat and eat what you've cooked, fresh. If you must store cooked eggs, refrigerate them within 2 hours and eat them within 24 to 48 hours. And if you're reheating, make sure they're heated evenly to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius. Never leave cooked eggs sitting at room temperature for extended periods, and absolutely never reheat eggs more than once. In short, eggs are a gift to your health when handled properly, but a silent saboteur when reheated carelessly. At age 60 and beyond, your body doesn't bounce back from foodborne illness like it used to. Err on the side of caution, and you'll protect not only your gut, but your long-term well-being. Spinach and leafy greens. When nutrients turn against you. Spinach, kale, and other leafy greens are often called superfoods, and rightly so. They're rich in vitamins A, C, K, folate, magnesium, iron, and fiber. For anyone over 60, these nutrients are essential for supporting bone density, heart function, immune health, and digestion. But what most seniors don't realize is that reheating these greens can actually reverse their benefits and pose serious health risks. The culprit? Nitrates, natural compounds found in abundance in leafy greens. When you first cook spinach or kale, these nitrates are generally harmless. However, once cooled and reheated, especially in a microwave, those nitrates can convert into nitrites and nitrosamines, which have been linked to an increased risk of certain types of cancer, especially gastric and esophageal cancer. For seniors whose digestive systems are more sensitive and whose cellular repair mechanisms are slower, this is a hidden danger that accumulates silently over time. Think about your morning omelet or dinner sauté. Maybe you had leftovers, stored them overnight, and decided to reheat them the next day. That reheated spinach might taste fine, but under the surface it may have become chemically unstable, introducing carcinogenic compounds into your body without any visible warning. That's not all. Reheated greens can also interfere with your oxygen carrying capacity, especially in people with compromised liver function or low stomach acid. This is because excessive nitrites can oxidize hemoglobin into methemoglobin, which doesn't carry oxygen effectively. The result? Fatigue, dizziness, headaches, or in extreme cases, a condition called methemoglobinemia, which reduces oxygen flow throughout the body. For seniors who already suffer from cardiovascular issues or shortness of breath, this is a risk not worth taking. Another issue lies in how leafy greens are typically stored. If you cook spinach or kale and then leave it out at room temperature for more than 2 hours, it creates a perfect breeding ground for bacteria, especially Listeria and E. coli. Reheating may not kill all of these pathogens, especially if the food is unevenly heated. Seniors with weakened immune systems are particularly vulnerable to foodborne illnesses that stem from improper food handling. So, what should you do? The safest approach is to prepare leafy greens fresh and eat them immediately. If you do cook a large batch, let it cool quickly, store it in the refrigerator in an airtight container, and consume it within 24 hours without reheating. Instead, eat leftovers cold in salads or sandwiches to avoid the chemical transformations caused by heat. In conclusion, leafy greens are still essential, but only when handled correctly. At this stage in life, your body deserves the cleanest, safest fuel. Reheating spinach might seem harmless, but the risk for older adults can silently chip away at your health over time. Chicken. The bacteria that survives reheating. Chicken is a protein-packed staple in most households, especially for older adults watching their red meat intake. Grilled, roasted, baked, or boiled, chicken feels like a safe, healthy choice. But when it comes to reheating chicken, most people are dangerously unaware of how easily it can turn from nutritious to harmful, especially for seniors over 60 whose digestive and immune systems are more sensitive. What makes it so risky? A few factors, starting with how chicken behaves when cooled and reheated. First, chicken is highly prone to bacterial contamination, especially with Salmonella and Campylobacter. Even after it's cooked, these bacteria don't disappear unless the chicken is immediately cooled and stored properly. If cooked chicken is left out at room temperature for more than 2 hours, or 1 hour if the ambient temperature is above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, it can allow bacteria to multiply at an alarming rate. And here's the real danger. Reheating doesn't always kill all bacteria or neutralize the toxins they leave behind. In fact, some bacteria like Clostridium perfringens, which is often found in cooked poultry, produce heat-resistant spores. These spores can survive normal reheating temperatures. So even if your chicken is steaming hot on the outside, these spores might still be alive and well, releasing toxins that can cause serious gastrointestinal distress, including vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal cramps within just a few hours of eating. In seniors, this could mean dehydration or hospitalization within a short window. Additionally, chicken contains a high level of protein, and reheating it improperly can alter its protein structure, making it harder for your body to digest. This can lead to indigestion, bloating, and even nutrient loss. What's more, improperly reheated chicken can taste dry and rubbery, so people often use sauces or gravies to compensate, which may further increase the risk if those sauces weren't stored properly either. So how do you protect yourself? The first rule, never reheat chicken more than once. If you cooked a large batch, divide it into smaller portions and refrigerate it immediately within an hour. Use airtight containers and store it at a temperature below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. When reheating, ensure the internal temperature of the chicken reaches at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius, all the way through. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a health necessity. Don't just judge by appearance or how hot it feels. Use a food thermometer to check the thickest part, especially in thighs and breasts. And avoid microwaving large chicken pieces, which often heat unevenly and can leave cold, bacteria-friendly pockets inside. Lastly, if reheated chicken smells sour, feels slimy, or just doesn't taste right, trust your instincts. Throw it out. No meal is worth gambling your health over, especially when age already reduces your body's defense against foodborne illness. Bonus: mushrooms. The meaty marvel that can become a microbial minefield. Mushrooms are a favorite among seniors and health-conscious individuals alike. Low in calories, high in protein, packed with B vitamins, selenium, and powerful antioxidants like ergothioneine, mushrooms can support immune health, brain function, and even help fight inflammation. Their savory, umami-rich flavor makes them an ideal meat substitute in everything from stir-fries to stews. But what many don't know is that mushrooms are also one of the most dangerous foods to reheat, especially for people over 60. The problem begins with their complex cellular structure. Mushrooms are composed of delicate proteins and enzymes that begin to break down almost immediately after being cooked. When you reheat them, especially using a microwave, these proteins degrade even further, producing compounds that your digestive system can no longer process efficiently. For older adults whose gut microbiomes may already be compromised by age, medication, or illness, this can lead to bloating, stomach cramps, diarrhea, or nausea. But the bigger concern lies in bacterial growth. Cooked mushrooms are incredibly perishable. Leaving them out at room temperature for just a short time can allow harmful microorganisms like Clostridium, botulinum, and Listeria monocytogenes to take hold. If these contaminated mushrooms are then reheated and eaten, it may trigger a serious gastrointestinal infection, or worse, food poisoning that leads to hospitalization. Seniors with reduced immunity are particularly vulnerable, and their bodies may not recover as quickly from these microbial invasions. In some cases, reheating mushrooms has also been linked to histamine intolerance reactions. That's because certain types of bacteria that thrive in leftover mushrooms can trigger histamine release in the gut. This may lead to symptoms such as rashes, headaches, a racing heart, or even breathing difficulties. These reactions are often misdiagnosed in older adults as allergic responses or age-related conditions, when the true cause may lie in a simple bowl of microwave mushroom soup. Mushrooms also contain compounds that are thermally sensitive, meaning their nutritional benefits diminish drastically when reheated. What was once a healthy source of selenium and B vitamins can become a bland, nutritionally void food that no longer supports your body's needs. The solution? Cook mushrooms fresh and eat them immediately. If you must store leftovers, cool them rapidly, keep them refrigerated below 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius, and consume them cold or within 12 to 24 hours without reheating. Consider adding cold mushrooms to salads, wraps, or grain bowls instead of tossing them back into the pan. In short, mushrooms are nutritional powerhouses, but they demand respect in the kitchen. Mishandle them, and they become microbial minefields that silently endanger your gut and immune system. For those over 60, it's not just about what you eat, it's how you handle what you eat that keeps you thriving. Finally, protect your health by knowing what not to reheat. The truth doctors won't always tell you. By now, you've learned the shocking truth behind some of the most common foods that, when reheated, can pose serious health risks, especially for seniors over 60. From the cancer-linked risks of reheated rice and potatoes to the gut-damaging proteins in eggs and mushrooms, we've exposed the hidden dangers that most people, and even many doctors, don't talk about. These everyday foods can become toxic traps, silently triggering digestive distress, nutrient loss, and even life-threatening infections. If you're over 60, these risks are amplified by a slowing metabolism, weakened immunity, and age-related gut changes that make food safety even more critical. But the good news is, awareness is power. Now that you know the hidden dangers of reheating certain foods, you can take simple but powerful steps to protect yourself and your loved ones. Make smarter food choices, store leftovers properly, avoid reheating in microwaves when it compromises the safety or nutrition of your meals. Your health, longevity, and quality of life depend on these small yet impactful habits. In today's fast-paced world, most people microwave their food without a second thought. But if you're serious about healthy aging, disease prevention, and maintaining peak energy after 60, then it's time to stop treating your microwave like a magic box. Be intentional, be informed, and most importantly, be safe. At our channel, we go far beyond just listing health risks. We break down the real science, expose the silent killers hiding in your pantry, and share life-changing tips for staying vibrant, strong, and independent well into your golden years. Whether it's uncovering the best anti-inflammatory foods, the most effective natural remedies, or the daily habits that fight cognitive decline, diabetes, heart disease, and more, this is where seniors come to thrive. If you found this video eye-opening, helpful, or even life-saving, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our weekly uploads packed with senior-focused health tips. And don't forget to drop a comment below. Let us know which reheated food surprised you the most, or share your own food safety tip that might help someone else. Remember, your kitchen can either heal or harm you. When you stay informed, you stay empowered. This is more than just nutrition advice. It's your blueprint for longevity, vitality, and confidence after 60. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay healthy, stay strong, and stay smart about what goes on your plate.